everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how I applied these tips that are on my left hand to get this beautiful shape over on my right hand, which are nubbies right now. Thank you. Moving, you have ruined my nails. Anyways, these tips are super duper awesome. They actually come in stiletto shape. I got them off of Amazon for like $15 and I'll link it all below. They do not come in this case though. I had to buy that from the Dollar Tree. These are the most ridiculous stilettos, like super duper long, but do not be intimidated by them because I love the versatility of stiletto tips. So I'm going to show you guys how to apply them, how to fit them to your nails properly so that you're not having them too small or too large for your nail beds. And trust me, they're super duper easy to get down to this shorter shape. The package comes in little baggies, so what I did is I got this thing and I numbered each well with the size of the tip that is on the inside so that it's easy for me to grab the tips that I use. Again, this thing is from the Dollar Tree. It's only $1. I recommend this for you guys to store your tips in. So the first thing that I don't use actual nail glue to glue on my tips. I used Base Bond because I'm a dip powder user, but you can use nail glue if you have that on hand and you don't use dip powder like I do. So I already have it on my middle finger, so what I'm going to do right now is size every other finger. I highly recommend you size all of your fingers before you start gluing them on. These tips are so extremely long that it's easier to size them before you have tips on. When you're sizing, it is very important that you make sure you're not pressing the tip all the way down on your nail. So you want it to fit to your nail and not force it down on your nail. You also want to make sure that it fits from sidewall to sidewall so that there's nothing hanging off. But if you can't find a size that fits your actual nail, do not go smaller, go larger. So as I'm sizing all of my fingers, the tips to my fingers, I am placing the nail tips on the side over there where you can see them so that they're easy for me to grab. I actually put them in order of what my fingers are. So the thumb is going to be on the left, the index is going to be next to the thumb, the pinky is going to be on the far right. You want to know which tip goes to what finger so that when you're gluing them on, they're super duper easy to grab. Now that I have all my tips picked out, I'm going to start with my thumb and work my way to my pinky. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my brush, my super glue brush, and I'm applying it just on the tip area where I'm going to put this on my nail. And then I'm going to place it on my nail and hold it in place for about 10 seconds until the tip doesn't pop off, lift off. You want the glue to set before you just remove your finger and the pressure. Here's what it looks like, completely glued on, it's not coming off. It looks like there's a little ledge hanging over on the side of my nails. It's because I couldn't find a perfect fit, so I went a size up, but I will clip that off later. I'm going to repeat this process on all 5 of my fingers, well 4 because I'm only doing 4 right now. So again, I'm just applying the base or the glue on the inside where it's going to meet my natural nail. And then I'm going to place it on top, making sure it's fitting from sidewall to sidewall and hold it firmly in place until it doesn't move or lift. Also, please excuse that the angle at which I'm shooting in keeps on changing. I have my hand turned one way or another way. I'm still experimenting with my recording setup and the angle that I want everything to be shot in because we just moved into a new place. So as I continue working through this, you may see background changes, different backdrops, different lighting. I'm still trying to figure out what works best for recording here. And I know everything looks crazy, and I personally would never wear my nails like this, maybe for a prank or something to try a really unique design, but the next step you gotta go into is trimming them down. I have this fake tip cutter. I don't know what else to call it. It looks like a guillotine because it just comes right down. It just chops, perfect chop. The way you're supposed to use it is you stick the fake tip in there, however much you want cut off, and then you just squeeze the handle and it just chops off the tip. So I'm gonna stick it in there. I'm gonna find a good length that I want it chopped at. I typically chop less than what I want. So if I want my nails to be shorter, I'm gonna keep the tip slightly longer because there have been times when I messed it up and I chopped them just a little too short and I have to start over by applying the whole new tip. You do not want to do that. So longer is better. You can always chop down, but you can't add more length without starting over. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna stick all my fingers through and chop them off. And then the next step after this is showing you guys how I get a tapered shape. Next is to cut off the excess hanging areas of the nail. I'm using these cuticle trimmers because I could not find my nail scissors, but I would recommend nail scissors over the cuticle trimmers in my personal opinion. They work better for me. So what I do is I cut right where the free edge is, like the hanging over. I cut that off and I taper it inwards. So I make sure to angle my scissors inwards, but be very careful when doing that. If you angle it too much inwards, you're gonna have to start over because you already cut too much off. I've done that before where I angled my scissors way too angled, and before I know it, I'm like, am I trying to go for stiletto again? Anyways, so I'm gonna do this for every single finger. Again, awkward pose on the camera, so I'm only able to show you one side because I was out of frame for the other side. And here is the ridiculous length that I have. So I think they're a little long. They're not matching my middle finger. So again, I'm gonna take my fake nail trimmer. Is there a better name for that thing? I really don't know. And I'm gonna trim down all the other nails that are longer to try to get them about the same size and length as the middle finger. And then after that, I'm going to take my 100/180 nail file and I'm going to file the sides and the front where the free edge is of the tips to make sure everything is just even and smooth. There's no like ragged edges from the tip to my free edge on my nail. Free edge, is that really? Well, where it meets my natural nail. I don't want it to be awkward. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to file that, and maybe one day I can do like an in-depth filing tutorial on how to get like ballerina or coffin shape with a nail file. But all I can give you the best advice right now is go from side to side. File 2 or 3 times on one side and then switch to the other side, because you do not want to file or over file too much on one side and then you have to go to the other side and make that match. It just looks awfully bad. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna show you guys the finished product and how it turned out. And I absolutely love these tips. I've been using them for about a month now, and I highly recommend them if you're somebody who is not afraid of cutting down some stiletto tips. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching this video. If you have any other video requests, please leave them in the comments below, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel, and if you like what you see, subscribe. Check out other videos. See you in the next one.